hello, and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities Podcast. I'm your host, Melvin the Crimson Taurus, and with me is the third-eyed mystic herself, the ever-so-lovely Niema.
Hello, everyone.
So, as per usual, we were having a little bit of technical difficulties, which, it comes with the territory at this point. I feel that if we don't have some type of weird tech problem, then it's not going to be a good show.
Or it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that too. Now, as you guys have noticed, it's been pretty dead for Unexplained Possibilities for about a month or so, and, we decided to take a nice little break. You can only talk about the paranormal, supernatural so much before your head starts spinning in circles and you're just like, ugh. After all, we are only human, or so we say. You never know. Niema, are you human?
I think so. Last time I checked.
That's not reassuring.
Who really knows? Are we even human? Who
What
knows?
is a human? That's actually a good question because what if there's an extraterrestrial off-world who technically we would consider human, but they're not human, they're alien. Like, are humans only exclusive to this planet, or is it something for all planets? I mean, how does this work?
Yeah, wouldn't you consider it? What do they call us? Like humanoids?
Yeah, humanoids, but even so, that's it's kind of a broad term because it could be used for something that does not look human, but it's bipedal and it may have two eyes, one nose, one mouth, etc. But it could be completely red with some tentacles coming out of its back and stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. Yeah, humanoid is to describe something that looks similar to human, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird. Yeah. Now I wonder, is human exclusive to this planet, or do they call us like Earthling humans?
They call us a baby race. I bet they have like some weird terms for us.
I've heard a couple from a few friends who've had some talks, and baby race is pretty accurate. Actually, it's extremely accurate. So we're fairly young in the grand scheme of things, and we're morons. I mean, according to, and this is of course secondhand information from people who said that they were speaking to aliens. According to them, we're not even out of diapers. I hope that gives you a idea on how insignificant we actually are right now.
Right. It just made me feel like a little speck of dust.
Pretty much. So, oh, you know what? Before we get into it, because I will forget to do this, I have a shout out I have to make.
Ooh,
Yes,
sounds
and
exciting.
the person who I'm going to shout out to, I can't pronounce your name for jack squat, and she knows I can't pronounce her name at all. No matter how no matter how hard I try, I just butcher it. So hopefully she laughs and doesn't hold it over my head. But shout out to I'm getting flashbacks of when I was trying to say your name. Oh dear.
Come on, say it with confidence.
Shout out to Hermes. So bad. Anyway, shout out to Hermes.
How do you spell that?
Hurmuz.
M-U-Z.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. So shout out to Hermes, who is kicking it, listening to us, and supporting us. We appreciate it so much. Even if it's just for a few minutes, you took time out of your day to give us that time that you could like use to eat or something or take a walk. So we really do appreciate it. And thank you so much, and leave a comment if you'd like and make fun of me on how badly I butchered that name.
I bet you said it right. I wonder if you said it right.
Oh, I didn't say it right, believe me. But I tried. Okay, so normally before we actually start the show, Niem and I, we might have a little quick chat about whatever. And couldn't do it this time. We were running late, and I hate being late, so I apologize for that. But we're just gonna do it on the air. We're gonna do it live. I'm about to put her on the spot because I already know the answer
Oh,
to
dang
this.
it.
Were you able to catch the two cryptic lists that I put up?
Yes.
You did? Oh, you made me a filthy liar.
Why?
I thought for sure you were gonna say no.
Oh, well, I had no idea what this was about. So, yeah, I listened to both of them. Uh-huh.
Wow, I owe you a cookie.
I probably wasn't logged in. Is that why? Like you're like, were you just guessing that I didn't do it?
Yeah, that was just a guess. I mean, even if you,
Wow, how
yeah,
dare you?
yeah. How dare you? Ugh. I didn't
There's
know.
no faith.
I, well, here's the thing, and not to throw Rose under the bus. Everyone knows I love Rose to death. But whenever I ask her to watch something so she could just be prepared or whatever, she always forgets and she never does it. So in my head, it's like, well, I already know the answer to this. So I apologize to you, Niema. Rose, I apologize to you, even though you're not going to listen to this because I know you. But either way, on the off chance, I apologize to you for throwing you under the bus. Please don't curse me out later. Yeah, so cryptids. The two videos that I was talking about that I put up, the first one was 10 cryptids that are real, and the second one was 10 cryptids that you hope aren't real. And Yema, you said you had no idea what a cryptid is, so what is it now? Now, after you saw those and probably did a bit of research and you have a better understanding, what are they?
Well, just from listening to your videos, I would assume that they're creatures of dark forces or not that are said to be seen, and some of them are real and some of them aren't.
Yes, you put that so much better than I could, so thank you.
I did have some confusion though, because the ones that aren't real, they seem like they have more of superstition attached to them.
Uh-huh.
And then the ones that are real, it's like kind of they're just chilling, like they're just animals.
Well, and that's the funny thing because stories somehow it's always more added on to what it is. But take for instance this, and I'll use the platypus as an example. You know nothing about it, diddly squat, and here I am. I'm an explorer. I see this thing, and I write to you, "Hey, Niema, I just went to this place called Australia, and I came across the weirdest creature. It's some type of rodent or something, and oh no, technically it's a mammal. It lays eggs. It has a beaver tail. It has the bill of a duck. It has some claw that has venom, and it's a mammal. What? I mean, and it's kind of freaky. I don't know what to do with this thing. I mean, how would that sound?
Right. When you actually think about a platypus, it's kind of like that is a really weird creature.
And you would think it's something supernatural. You would think like that is something the devil made.
Devil made a platypus.
I mean, you would think. Well, like I said in that video, though, it just proves that nature has a sense of humor.
Right. Yeah. Especially when he made us.
Yeah. So, I mean, so saying that, while the ones that we hope aren't real seem more on the superstitious side, which some of them actually are, no way around it. Some of them actually are, like the Wendigo, in my opinion. It is still some truth to it, and if we were to discover it, we'll be like, oh, well, okay, this makes a little more sense now.
Exactly.
as another example, another one that was real would be the okapi.
Refresh me on that. You're gonna have to refresh me
The
on everyone.
okapi, also known as the African unicorn, is the animal that is related to a giraffe. So it has the head of a giraffe and the body of a donkey or a mule and zebra stripes.
Yeah, I thought he looked pretty cool. That was a cool looking animal.
He's very
But
mixed
it
up,
just
but
reminded me of like a horse and a zebra cross. And isn't there's like a few cousins to a zebra that are a lot smaller.
yeah, but that's not one of them. That thing is related to a giraffe.
That's so
It
weird.
even has a giraffe's blue tongue.
Wow.
And so for the longest time, people were like, man, it's an African unicorn. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing. Like, and then when you see it, it's just like,
No, it
okay,
doesn't exist.
well, um, hmm, this is, well, I'll be.
What's going on?
And then, of course, on the list, and I'm so spoiling this for people who haven't seen them, but oh well, is the mountain gorilla. And in this day and age, and I even said this in the video, who would think a gorilla would be a cryptid? I mean, they're so famous, everyone knows about them, but there was a time when the man ape, as they called them, they were cryptids. Like people didn't believe they were real. It was like, no, it's just a story. There's no such thing as a ferocious man ape living in Africa that can go on a rampage and beat you down, and come
Yeah, that's weird that people don't think about that.
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
hmm.
that would be the one that's probably it started off as more superstitious because of the early stories. And of course, we know that now that gorillas, they're herbivores, they're pretty intelligent. They are territorial, but they're not going to go on a crazy rampage and just all of a sudden beat you up. I mean, you have to give them a reason.
Right. And they
And
have some crazy strength, right?
oh gosh, yes. And so when Europeans first discovered him, like one story, the guy was scared to death, and talking about how the thing just trashed the place, and he was ferocious and scary. And when that travels, and you hear that, you're thinking of some type of demonic creature that's a man ape, and you go over there, it's gonna kill you, you know. And I like to equate it to how, I don't know if you remember doing this back in middle school, or technically, I guess this would be elementary school. The teacher would say something like, 10 raccoons run up a pole, and you whisper it to the person's next ear, and they whisper it to another person. By the time it got back to where it started, whatever was said is totally different. It's like, 20 possums peed on a pickle. It's like, what? You know,
Ew.
so what I'm getting at is stories get warped and more gets added on than what was there originally, which could possibly explain some of the more supernaturalness behind some cryptids.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I think that game in elementary was called Telephone, right?
I have no clue. I actually never played it.
Yeah, yeah, we used to play that all the time.
Okay, see, I
Called
heard of
Telephone.
people playing it. I never played it, but yeah. All right, so, woo, go me for remembering something I've never done. Awesome. Going towards the cryptids that haven't been proven to exist, and again, these are going to sound more supernatural because the source story is no longer there, or it was warped tremendously. What do you think about some of those?
The ones that are not real?
Yeah, or well, that you hope aren't real.
So when I was listening to the video, I think you're talking about the dog. What's it called? Shook?
Black Shuck.
Black Shook. I had to stop the video because I was about to throw up. Or like the things you were saying that the dog did, or the one right after it, the guy in the woods. Not no. There's a few that I was just like, this is too dark. Like I can't even listen to this right now
Oh
because
my god.
these creatures are like so morbid.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out who's the guy in the woods.
There's one that's like carnivore, or I mean,
Oh, the
whatever.
Wendigo?
Yes, there's that one, and then there's one before. I don't know if it's a man, but it's 7 feet tall or something. And then
Let me just look at the list here.
it's right
I
after the dog.
right after Black Shuck. You know what? You really can't handle the dark and scary stuff. That's amazing. I
I really cannot. I was about to throw up like 5 different times. I was like, I
that's
can't listen to this before I go to sleep. Like,
that's crazy. That's not even scary though. That's the thing. That's not the scary stuff. Okay, I will never have you on when Darren Evans or someone else is on because I don't think you'd make it.
no, I wouldn't. It just gives me like this intense feeling. I feel it and I see it and it just tears me like what?
Oh, you're talking about the Flatwoods Monster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
no, you know what? That thing is freaky. Like I can't lie. When I was writing it all out and reading it, I actually got a shiver down my spine. So, and what's interesting with that is, even though it's labeled a cryptid and kind of a monster or whatever, it's a good chance that's actually extraterrestrial.
Yeah, I could see that.
There were some witnesses who had a run-in with it, and they said that unlike previous witnesses, like they described it somewhat the same, but it didn't have that metallic head or whatever it was, and it was a reptilian-like creature.
Yeah, because you said it had a elongated head and big eyes. Yeah, that does sound
Yeah,
almost alien-esque.
yeah. So okay, yeah, I totally understand that one freaking you out. Black Shuck, not so much.
Right. Yeah, that one wasn't so bad. I think like the idea that once you see it, you're gonna die, or like your family or whatever, your family sees it or something.
Yeah,
It just
well, you
freaks
know,
me.
that's the thing about the UK because Black Shuck, that's just one of many black large dogs that people claim to see that kick it around there that come out every now and then. And, I should have said that also there is a good counterpart to Black Shuck. Like it's not all the stories are of being like evil and a bad omen. There's
Hmm.
apparently a version of it that has green eyes and it's a good omen and it'll protect you and make sure you make it home okay.
Oh, well, that's nice. I
Yeah.
mean, I would hate, I just hate that there's just, the only difference is green eyes.
Yeah, well,
So I could either be really scared or I
so,
feel like either way I'm gonna run.
you know what? I was gonna prank you on Halloween. I don't think I'm gonna do it now.
No, seriously, I'll probably piss my pants and I'll just be, yeah, it'd be bad. It'd be really bad.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. The only thing I will prank you with is like some fairy coming out and just saying, "Hey," that's about it. Yes. Wow, you really can't handle this, man. Wow, I'm sorry. I'm kind of amazed by this. You're the first person I've ever encountered that's like, "Hey, I was getting sick. No, I don't like it."
Yeah, my roommates, they actually watch a lot of scary movies, or one of them does, and I just go upstairs like I can't. There's just no way. And even if a movie has like a dark tone to it or a dark storyline, I'm like, yep, I'm gone.
Oh, wow.
Kind of boring, right?
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to join us on the talk on Ash versus Evil Dead.
What is it? Ash versus
Ash
Evil Dead?
versus the Evil Dead. Like it's a TV show based off the Evil Dead movie series, and yeah, you wouldn't, even though I don't consider it scary, I think they're more funny than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'd be able to handle it because there are some scenes and they're dealing with deadites, which are kind of like zombies, and yeah, chainsaws
Oh,
and a lot of blood and gore, and yeah,
nope.
I learned something new. I was not expecting that. I am really flabbergasted.
That's a cool word. I haven't heard that in a while.
Flabbergasted. Okay, so back to our little cryptids here. When people talk about cryptids, they usually only think about the animal aspect of it. You know, they don't really take into account a plant, which I can understand why. We forget that plants are living beings themselves, organisms, and there are plants that are cryptids, such as this name that I can't pronounce, but I mentioned the. You want to try to say this name?
I don't remember. I
Um,
remember the picture of it, but
yeah, it's spelled Umdhlebi.
yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Not even gonna attempt.
There's no way.
Come on, give it a shot.
How'd you spell it? UMD?
Umdhlebi.
Umdalabai? Umdabai?
That sounds better than me. I was just calling it like the Umdelby.
Umdelby. Umdalbai.
Yeah.
Eh.
All right. So yeah, that plant, it's considered a cryptid. It's apparently in Zululand, South Africa, and is extremely toxic. But that's just one example of a plant. There have been stories passed down of quite literally man-eater plants. And we know that plants, there are carnivorous plants out there. I mean, the prime example being the Venus flytrap. So, who's to say in the jungle somewhere there isn't a real gnarly big plant that can literally eat a whole person?
I bet. I wouldn't doubt it.
How scary would that be? You know, you're just cruising along, just walking around, taking in Mother Nature, and then you come across this thing and it just grabs you and starts eating you.
I know, you're all worried about animals. First you're worried about humans, then you're worried about animals, and now you're gonna worry about the plants.
That's another type of cryptid, and it really gets you thinking because when I was doing this, it honestly it made me think like, wow, you know, even if none of this is true, I still say the stories, they're based off of a little bit of truth because no matter what, no matter how outrageous it sounds, every single story in the world is based off a little bit of truth. No matter how crazy outlandish it is, there's a little bit of truth behind it. Now, the truth might be masked or changed, but it's still based off of something that's true.
Hmm.
And to think that there's possibly man-eater plants out there, or a plant that's carnivorous and big, it's kind of scary, but it leaves me wondering what else is out there. On the second list, what else was freaking you out on there?
I thought the tree was pretty cool. I
Okay.
like the whole idea of that. There was another one where you were talking about it was in the woods and this girl ended up hitting it or something and it was chasing after her. Was that
Oh, the Beast of Bray Road.
Beast of Bray Road? That's what it was.
Yeah, now that one's interesting because in cryptozoology, they don't really take into account things that are claimed to be shapeshifters. So, werewolves, for example. And that, it's kind of like a werewolf, somewhat, but then it isn't, even though witnesses they said that it was more like a bear creature or like kind of like a Bigfoot. And that one's interesting, but that one is very popular, and apparently there are still sightings today.
Huh. Bear.
The Beast of Bray Road. Yeah, Bray, not Bear. Good Lord.
Yeah, what um yeah, that one was like I thought it was a werewolf. And then when she was saying when you told the story about how she like hit it and then it chased after her and she left, and what threw me off is you said that she went back with a young trick or treater.
Yes.
I'm like, why would you go back? And why would you bring someone younger than you? Like,
Well, okay, here's the thing. She was 18, and I'm going to assume she was stupid. But at the moment, I won't say she is stupid, but I think it's just one of those things where you just go and you get anyone to make sure that they can see what you saw. But I wouldn't have gone back. Forget that. After that type of thing, I mean, Nima, could you imagine? Here you are, you're cruising in your car, you got your music playing. I guess some Katy Perry or something,
Katy Perry.
and you hear a thump, just doo doo, and you're like, what was that? And I know you're an animal lover, so
Yeah.
chances are, first thing popping in your head, oh my God, I hit an animal! Oh no! It's like, oh, please don't be a little bunny. And you get out and you check and you see this very big bear-like thing, and it's just angry and it gets up. What would you do? Would you get in your car, take off, and come back, or would you say, "Hey, little buddy, you okay?" I mean, what would you do?
What the hell? I'd be like, okay, he looks fine. I'm gonna go.
He looks fine. He looks
If he starts chasing after me, I mean, obviously he's not hurt.
I now would you come back?
Hell no.
You don't even care. You don't want anyone to you don't want to
The story
confirm what you
was
saw.
that it chased her and it jumped on her car. Okay, if an animal ever does that, I am not coming back.
Okay, so you're one and done. That's it. No way.
Definitely.
Aw, well, you're no
What would
fun.
you do?
Oh, me? Oh. I do the same exact thing. Forget that. But I'm a bit more of a coward because I wouldn't even get out the car. Like, I'm adjusting mirrors and stuff, and if I see something big there, I'm like, nope. I'll call animal control, but I'm not. Nope. You're braver than me. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't think I would honestly, I don't think I'd get out of the car either. I would just make sure like the only reason I get out of the car is to make sure my car wasn't messed up or like my tires weren't messed up. Like I could actually still drive.
Yeah. Well, even if it couldn't, somehow I'm sure you'd make it dry. That's again, that's one of the more supernatural ones. But again, it could be something to it.
Hmm.
Now, looking at it from a more logic perspective, what if it actually was a bear?
Yeah,
Although I don't think Wisconsin has bears.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think bears are in Wisconsin. So,
I don't feel smart.
you don't
How do
feel.
we not know if there's bears in Wisconsin? Like,
I'm pretty sure there aren't bears in Wisconsin, but
I'm gonna Google bears in Wisconsin? Question mark.
so that threw me. I don't feel smart. That's so funny.
Like, isn't that something we should know? Like,
Well, not really. I mean, okay, well, we're
see,
west.
exactly. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna read it to you. This is the first thing that pops up. This is why we're stupid. All right. Wisconsin is home to a thriving black bear
Oh,
population, estimated at more than 28,000 bears.
well, okay.
Thank you, Google. Thank you.
There we go. All right. I should totally edit that out just to save face, but no, we're real here, so I'm gonna leave it in. I So, yeah, congratulations. You earned your dunce cap for today. I earned mine. Awesome.
Glad
Okay,
we
okay,
figured that out.
so from a logical standpoint, could it have been some type of crazy looking bear?
Well, yeah, now that we know that they're there, yes.
But I mean, the way they describe it though, I mean, yeah, because bears, they get on all fours. They can be bipedal. A lot of big bears, they can be about 7 feet tall,
Mhm.
and if it was raining and trick or treating, that means it was dark. But for the bear to go to the car,
Right. I mean, I'm sure after it got hit, it felt threatened, right?
yeah.
So,
And but then that doesn't explain why people also describe this looking like a wolf creature as well.
mm, true.
So there you go. The Beast of Bray Road, man, still a mystery. Now, this is something that I'm pretty sure you liked, and this is an example of more legendary type of cryptids based in mythology, and one of them being the Yaku Mama, and that was um, that giant, uh, well, I guess you could say snake, so to speak.
What was that called again? Do you have the name?
Yaku Mama.
Yaku Mama?
Yeah, Yacumama. I don't think I'm butchering that one, but with my luck, I probably
No,
am.
that's right.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
not really what it sounds like, but yeah.
so that one, of course, is believed to be the mother of all creatures of the water, and is supposed to be 164 feet long. And the indigenous people of South America, that was something that they claim to have dealt with.
Hmm.
And moving from South America to North America with the Native American tribes, they have a cryptid, and what makes it more interesting is apparently this thing was seen in the late 1800s, and there was actually a picture of it taken by some cowboys, but I'll get to that in a second. The Native Americans, though, worship this, and it's called the Thunderbird. Have you ever heard of that guy?
The Thunder what?
The Thunderbird.
No.
I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not. I'm just joking. Because, I mean, here's the thing. Oh, you wouldn't know about that because it's a different type of culture. And, it's not widely known. But the Thunderbird in mythology first is supposed to be the god of the skies and the upper half of earth, and he's benevolent, and he would cause thunder and lightning storms when he was flapping his wings, and he would help out different Native American tribes and all that good stuff. Very interesting god. It's a lot, and I do mean a lot to him. His counterpart, who pretty much watched over the second half of Earth, the underworld and such, is the Water Panther, and he was a bit more bad, so to speak. And then there is I believe, a sea serpent, and that one's a female. So it's a lot of stuff to the mythology of Native Americans, which unfortunately, being that we live in the U.S. and the continent of North America, we actually don't know about for some reason. Like we don't get into the mythology of the West. We always focus on the mythology of the East, and I don't know why that is, but who knows? Maybe one day we'll dig into that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So now moving from the mythology to the cryptid Thunderbird that quite possibly actually existed and it is real. This thing, oh man, this thing was huge. At first people were saying that it's just some eagle that folks are getting confused about. And then it was like, ah, it's just some type of crane or something with the 8 foot wingspan or 10 foot wingspan. The issue is, witnesses stated this thing had a 15 to 20 foot wingspan, like not some little 10 feet. Yeah, little 10 feet. And when it flapped its wings so hard, it sounded like thunder.
Ooh.
Yeah, and this is where it gets interesting. In the 1800s, late 1800s, two cowboys, they were just roaming around and they saw this thing and they were like, look at that. And they shot it, of course, because why not?
Right.
So they shot it, killed it, and they brought it back to some town, and they said that they actually took a picture of this. The issue is, this picture has been lost, but many people claim to have seen it. They say, no, the picture is 100% real, but what's even more interesting is the Thunderbird itself, from what they described, does not resemble a bird as we know it. It resembles a pterodactyl.
Cool.
They said it was featherless. It had a weird shaped head. It had very big claws. And its beak was slightly stretched out. They were like, what is this? It did not resemble a bird at all. They even said it looks like a flying reptile.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So cryptozoologists, however, they can't prove the existence of it. I mean, that photo would help a lot, but in the science community, of course, they would immediately say, it's a hoax, it's not real, it's Photoshop, whatever. Well, not Photoshop, but it's not real, it's a hoax. It's been altered, tampered, blah, blah, blah. But
right.
What if some of these cryptids aren't actually supernatural, but what if they're prehistoric and they've somehow survived?
Right.
I mean, look at the sea serpent, or the rather the what's it called, Niema? That ugly, long, bony fish, the oarfish. Look at that thing. All right, that is as mysterious as you can get. It dates back to ancient times where they were talking about it. And this thing, I mean, no one believed it exists. No one believed in a 50-foot giant fish, a sea serpent. And yet, here it is. It's real, and it's pretty much prehistoric. It has changed very little throughout the years. So what if it's the same for other cryptids? Like, that's why they look so weird and they're so freaky, because, they're not supposed to be here anymore.
Right. They can't survive in this environment, so they just died off.
And yet somehow they're kicking it. I don't know how, but yeah, they're just like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that though, oh hey, what do you think about that turtle?
Dude, I didn't see a picture of it.
I put pictures on there.
That. No, I know you put pictures on there, but I think at that point, like, I was just listening. And then I clicked on to watch them. What is it? Spell it out for me.
The whole Wait, give me a second. The Hoankim turtle. HOANKIEM. The Hoakim or something.
Oh, Hoankim.
Yeah, the Hoakim turtle.
Wow, that feels a badass.
Yeah, I just realized I randomly jumped to that. But that guy, he dates back to, what was it, the 13th century or 16th century? What was it? What did I say?
Mm-hmm. That turtle's dope, though. He's so big.
They said it's about 6'3". And, when you see him, he has the face of a walrus or a pig or something. It's a soft shell turtle. I mean, it's crazy. And unfortunately, though, it looks like they have gone extinct.
Hmm.
Um, but that's just an example of a very old animal that's still around that no one believed in and was even in mythology.
Yeah, I don't understand how people don't believe in these things because I mean, if you even take a look at nature or any of the shows that show nature, you see all the crazy stuff that's created. It's all pretty wild.
Yeah, but that's just it. I think people are, they're so, there's no other way to say this, but they're so brainwashed that they lose their creativity and the thought that something that looks different and weird it can't exist. It has to fit into this, this, and this. And that's probably one of the downsides of science because science looks for so much concrete proof when sometimes you just have to be abstract.
Hmm.
It's just one of those things. You have to look outside the box because things aren't always in the box. And again, I go back to the platypus. I mean,
Right, like how bizarre is that?
yeah, I mean, easily one of the most bizarre creatures in this world. Although now that I think about it, humans are pretty weird too. I mean, like,
Exactly,
like,
right?
like, I mean, like to an alien, we must look like just like look at these hairless apes.
Right.
What?
No, me and my roommate were discussing that because she's studying, I think, in archaeology and how we came to be. And it's just weird. If we came from apes, why are we don't even have hair? Like, nothing is going on ape like.
Yeah, well, not to get in my X-Files mind working, but I hear the origins of humanity. This is out there. It comes from a lot of DNA mixing and splicing and
Right,
restarting.
like we're specifically created to
Yeah,
look.
unfortunately, we are essentially bacteria in a petri dish at this point.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, yeah. Now, the other thing too with cryptids that you may have noticed, quite a few of them tend to be big, such as Hogzilla.
No, that picture was ridiculous. That thing was huge.
I think the one I actually showed, well, no, it doesn't matter because it's that, yeah, they're big pigs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hate the fact that they killed it, unfortunately, but yeah, cryptics they tend to be big, and one of them being that Hogzilla, and that leads me to saying that what if dragons actually existed or chimeras?
What's a chimera?
A chimera is a mix of, okay, it's the body of a lion, a goat, and a snake. A snake's tail, excuse me, and it's three creatures. And rumor has it that they were created by alchemy. And so it's the head of a lion in the front, and the lion's body, the goat's kind of in the middle, or depending on the mythology where you get it from, um, the goat and the lion's head could both be in the front, but the snake is always the tail in the back. And apparently, they're actually three separate thinking minds, but they were all put on one body. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
weird.
okay.
Ki
So,
Oh, go ahead.
uh, okay, I just looked it up. I think I was getting it confused with something else. They have they have like a similar creature, I think, mentioned in Revelations in the Bible. So that's funny.
Yeah, so you might. What was mentioned in the Bible? Was it a griffin?
Um, I think it was kind of like a lion creature with maybe an eagle head and a tail of a scorpion or
Oh,
something.
that actually might be a griffin.
Something really weird like that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that kind of sounds like a griffin. The griffin is the body of a lion, snake tail sometimes, and the head and wings of an eagle.
Huh. Yeah, I'll have to double check that.
And you see griffins a lot of times as uh, on crests for Europeans, on family crests and stuff, because they're supposed to be protectors. And
Hmm.
they're pretty big as well. I don't know where a griffin or a chimera come from. I don't know the origins of those stories, but I think it's interesting that they are around. So that's something that I do want to look into one day and see if I could find the origins of them.
Right, yeah. That-
Now, what, how can I put this? If you were a cryptozoologist, what would be some of the things you would look for in trying to find a cryptid?
What do you mean to like research it
To
or to actually
research
go
it and
find
hopefully
it?
hunt one down.
Oh, well, I mean, I'd just be reading all the old texts, really, like mythology and probably the Bible and um, weird, outdated texts to find some creatures that are could be possibly that, and then to find them. I mean, who really knows? The things that you were talking about,
Hmm.
I mean, I just go based off of whatever I'm looking for. So if it's a carnivorous tree, then I'd go to a place where those plants are most likely to be, or whatever it is.
Oh, that works for me. Now, of course, in cryptozoology, like all things, there are some silly stuff. And when that happens, it kind of makes the entire field laughable. And, people are like, ah, what a joke this is. You see, it's just a bunch of clowns. And my friend Benny, he hates this thing with a passion. He refuses to admit it's real. But what are your thoughts on the Jersey Devil?
I gotta look this up now.
Oh, you never heard of the Jersey Devil?
No,
Wow, you're
it popped
just
up pretty fast.
yeah,
Oh, so it's like a dragon?
the Jersey Devil. No, it's not a dragon. I don't think it's a dragon. Well, here's the thing. It's
No.
so many different versions of it. I don't know, but I think it's supposed to be like the head of a goat, and it's supposed to have wings, like bat-like wings and horns.
What movie was this in? Was this in a movie? I feel like this creature was in a movie of
Uh,
some sort.
if it was, I have not seen that movie, but I would not be surprised. The interesting thing about the Jersey Devil is it's in New Jersey, of all places. The state of New Jersey, for those of you who don't know, which is East Coast, USA.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to move there.
Yeah, so the Jersey Devil, I don't believe in it myself,
I feel like
but
this dude's real. This dude's really real.
you think it's real.
Yep,
Why do you think that?
because I've seen it in a movie. No, I don't know why. I just feel like he's real.
The Jersey Devil? Oh man, thank God Benny's not here. He'd have a heart attack right now. Like he hates that thing for whatever reason. He hates it. He's like, if you believe in
Is
the
he from
Jersey.
New Jersey or something?
Oh no, he's from California like me, but
Oh,
he can't stand the Jersey Devil. Like he thinks it's 100% fake and made up. He thinks it's stupid, and whoever came up with it, he wants to punch him. He hates the Jersey Devil.
no, yeah.
So, personally, I don't believe in it. I don't think it's real. I think it's a hoax. And one of the pictures, which is actually running on the slideshow, which is supposed to be proof of the Jersey Devil, I think it's just a bug, which has been known to happen. Sometimes bugs they take interesting shapes and forms. For instance, there are pictures of so-called fairies. Are you a believer in fairies?
I feel like they're real on a different frequency.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I believe. I don't believe in fairies in the traditional sense.
Right, yeah. I don't think they're real. Like, well, of course, in this reality, they are not real.
Yeah, so there's some pictures and stuff, and a lot of those pictures are actually grasshoppers and other bugs, but they were taken at certain angles with the right lighting, and it appears to be something it isn't.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, people, just like people don't want to believe, there are people who want to believe so badly they they see whatever they want, and it's like, this is it, this is definitive proof, end, period. And it's like, no, it isn't. It's a bug. I'm sorry. Like, I want you to be right, but it's a bug. And that's kind of like how I see the Jersey Devil. Like, I don't get it. I don't believe in it. I think it's just a bunch of stories to create a tourist attraction and freak some people out.
So that Jersey Devil, it's supposed to have a goat head?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Because when you first, it's on the Devil Tarot card.
Here's the thing with the devil, though. Like, for whatever reason, in different incarnations of him, he always has a goat's head or is associated with the goat for some reason.
Right. What's up
So,
with that?
I don't know, but I, it's just very weird. I mean, how do you go from being one of the most beautiful angels to an evil demonic goat?
Right. And why a goat? Like, what's so wrong with goats?
I have no clue.
Why are they made out to be the bad guy?
Well, I mean, goats are kind of pricks sometimes.
Goats eat everything, which is a blessing because we cause so much garbage and so much crap.
Well, thank you, Mr. Goat.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm gonna look that up.
So, moving on to some of the more popular cryptids, what's your thoughts on the Loch Ness Monster?
I think he was real. I think I know it's a he, it probably was a she. I think that's real. I used to be fascinated with that back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, I used to like that.
Yeah, I think it existed at one point. I think it's passed away now, but I think it was actually some type of, again, a prehistoric dinosaur or something. Maybe not a dinosaur, but something prehistoric, and somehow it just survived,
Mm-hmm.
and it's no longer with us. It is departed.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Now, unfortunately, though, there's a lot of hoaxes involving that. Like, why do people like to do those hoaxes? Is it for attention?
Well, I mean, yeah. It's like it's like telephone. They want to make the story more exciting or cause some buzz around it.
Yeah, I guess. It's just so weird.
Rumors.
We're gonna make this hoax. Oh yeah, have you ever heard of the Set creature or the Set animal?
Set. Isn't there some symbolism there? Set.
Ah, you know your Egyptology. Uh, the interesting thing with that is, of course, in some of the hieroglyphs, they talk about this animal, then it's extinct. We don't know what it is, what it was, what it's related to, but we know it was associated with the god Set.
Okay. What's it called? Set what?
They call it the Set animal
And
or
they just
Set
have no
creature.
no idea what it
Yeah, we don't
resembles.
know what it is. We just know that it existed, and they consider it a cryptid because it's no actual proof of it being real or alive and or ever existing except for on hieroglyphs. And that's the other thing with cryptids. Like you were saying, ancient texts, they talk about them, mythology talks about them, but it's just there's no evidence of them actually having been here or existing. oftentimes it makes me wonder, like, what if they do exist, but not in this reality or in this world? I was speaking to someone about this, and it's it's gonna sound weird, and it's gonna add another notch to Melvin sounding crazy. But we were talking about unicorns,
Yeah, man.
and you know, he doesn't believe in them. I I semi believe in them, but in the sense that what if they do exist, or at least at one point, what if they did exist on this planet and they're extinct, and so they're no longer on here, but who's to say that they're not real on another planet?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like unicorns were real. Like, I feel like unicorns were real, and then us humans were stupid and started like chase them down and kill them for their horns because we thought some way it was like magical or had some power in it or it just looked cool. So we kill them off.
Well, in not Western, in Central Africa, there was a few tribes who actually said that their ancestors used to hunt unicorns and eat them.
Exactly.
And, well, that was for survival, though. There's a difference when you're hunting and eating for survival versus poaching.
Mm.
But yeah, they said that they did exist, and their ancestors would hunt and eat them, and their horn isn't actually a horn. Don't think of it like ivory, but think of it like a rhino's horn, where it's actually hair. Which got me to thinking,
What?
like, oh snap, that's actually a logical way of putting that, because it would be probable for a horse to somehow get its hair tangled up and harden, matted, and into a type of horn.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I was like, oh snap, well, maybe they did exist. And one of the stories goes that unicorns actually existed, but because they were an uncatchable horse and the Great Flood was happening, Noah was unable to catch them and put them in the
Mm.
and that's why they're no longer with us.
I agree.
Okay, so what about Bigfoot?
I think it was real too. I
I
think that was.
think it is still among us, and this is where I need Rose. She loves Bigfoot. That girl's obsessed, and she knows everything about it, to the point where she's like, "When I come to the States, you're gonna take me to where Bigfoot is." It's like, what are you talking about? I don't like what? What? Like, I know him personally? Like, hey, what's up, Mr. Foot? Here's Rose. Are you kidding
Rose
me?
wanted to meet you.
So it's like, how am I gonna do that? What is wrong with you?
You better make it happen, Melvin.
She said the same thing. So, but yeah, I am a believer in Bigfoot, but why is Bigfoot, out of so many cryptids that have a way higher chance of being real, why is he so focused on?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more of a hunting thing, right? I think I think people just get obsessed with that because it's in the woods and it's part of hunting and
So the thrill of the chase.
yeah,
Ooh, kind of like chasing after a good woman.
exactly.
I know nothing about that. I don't know what I'm talking. I'm speaking out of my league now. Women chase me.
Oh god.
I
Oh
feel
god.
it's like you rolled your eyes right there, like, oh, please shut up.
Oh god, someone help us.
But yeah, I think you might be right. It might be the thrill of the chase, and, ultimately finding something. And, to be the person who actually is like, here's the Sasquatch. We found him after all these years and all the ridicule, all the nonsense. Here it is. But what is Sasquatch or Bigfoot? Like, what is it related to? What does it do? What's its purpose?
It's purpose. That's funny. Um, it's like man bear pig, right?
Good South Park reference. Yeah. No, like seriously. And what would it actually look like? Because we only see these blurry pictures, of course. And, sometimes they actually say that thing's an ape man. So what? Are they trying to say it's a gorilla?
Right.
It appears to have intelligence as well. It's able to elude people, no problem, and according to cryptozoologists, it's able to communicate to the point where they figured out how to mimic the noises it makes.
So they learned how to communicate with it.
Well, they don't communicate with it, they just make noises and hope to hear something back, and sometimes they do.
Oh, okay.
So they that's what they claim, and they also claim that they are, I'm trying to think of the correct word. They're not exactly social, but they kick it by themselves a lot.
They're antisocial. They're introverts.
No, no, the word where an animal is like it lives in solitary or well, I can't think of the correct terminology. I am so sorry for sounding so dumb tonight, guys, but I'm just gonna say we were gone for a while and it's just a little bit of ring rust.
I have nothing to say.
Thanks.
This is me. Get used to it.
Yeah, so, and we're just so fascinated with Sasquatch, at least in the US. And I think it's because in the US, he's basically our unicorn,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
and we want to find him so badly, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And the proof that they do have, it's just not enough because it's not concrete enough. There are hair samples and they've had them tested and they said, we don't know what species of animal this is. They have those footprints, but it's like these could have been man-made by someone just playing a joke.
Right.
There's eyewitness testimony, which is, it's not 100%. And again, I go back to the pictures being blurry. And sometimes people say, why not just use satellite? Well, the canopies of the trees, it blocks the satellite images and all that stuff. So, there goes that. I mean, this is like the perfect unicorn for the US.
Why couldn't we have like an actual unicorn though? Why did we get the hairy bear thing?
Well, that's because the unicorn, it didn't board the ark, and yeah, or it was shipped off world. Pick your poison.
Shipped shipped off world. That's funny. That's cool.
Now, Benny, one of his particular favorite cryptids, and this is one that Rose didn't believe in. She's like, it's stupid. The chupacabra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know about this one.
Yeah, they used to talk about it when I was younger.
Oh, okay. So what have you heard? What do you know?
Doesn't it eat your like animals or something? It eats your farm animals.
Well, it translates to the goat sucker, and it's very weird because it doesn't exactly eat them. It somehow is able to suck out its innards without leaving a drop of blood.
The drawings of this thing is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a very weird animal. I believe the original sighting started in Puerto Rico, and then they went to Mexico and parts of Texas and Arizona at sometimes, and nothing in California yet. I hope it stays that way.
It just looks like a dog.
Well, that's the funny thing because
Gross
when they
dog.
were investigating it, they said that it resembles a dog, but it turned out what they saw actually was a dog, but it was in poor condition and it was a type of hybrid. It was a certain
Oh,
species of dog and it made it with something else, and yeah. So it was not a chupacabra. The chupacabra, very weird animal because it's two types of two types of chupacabra, I guess you could say. One of them is supposed to be hairless and almost rat-like, and the other one is supposed to have hair, very sharp fangs, and it smells terrible, with a tongue that it can use to suck out the insides of an animal or whatever. Witnesses have, they've taken pictures, you can look this up on the internet, of animals that their bodies are flat, like horses, cows, chickens, goats, and it's very bizarre. And this is something science can't explain and cryptozoologists can't prove is real. So I don't know, man. Chupacabras, they're weird.
Yeah, look really gross.
They look really gross.
Don't look it up.
Well, I already know what some of them look like, so
Ugh,
it's too late for
jeez.
me. Don't you dare get sick.
I know.
Yeah, stop looking at that.
I'm gonna have to liven up the mood after this. I'm gonna have to listen to some higher frequency stuff or something.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
whatever. Just don't you dare get sick. You see, now you know what you signed up for, so, and it's too late for you to leave. It's like, man,
Right.
no.
I'm like, when you give me these topics and like, I'm just like, how does he do this? This is like a lot of dark stuff.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't bother me, unfortunately. However, I do have an idea for next show, which I'll talk to you off air about, and I think you're really gonna like it.
Okay.
So, but that'll be off air, and no one can know just yet. All right. So let's see. I was doing most of the talking about cryptids. Do you know of any weird cryptids in mind?
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head. I think we covered most of the ones that I was always curious about.
Now, how do you feel about? Oh, you never heard of a firebird, huh?
Firebird, that's familiar, but I didn't know it had a connection. I didn't know there was a cryptid.
Yeah, the firebird. It is best known in Russia in the story of Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga. Come on, Nima, help me out here. Baba Yaga. Baba.
Baba Yaga?
Is that the name of Baba Yaga? Yeah, Baba Yaga, and Baba Yaga is it's in a very very old woman, and it's either one person or three sisters that all use the same name, and she has chicken legs. Yeah, like her legs are legit chicken legs, and her home is surrounded by bones and skulls from people she's eaten. Let me
Oh,
stop. I'm gonna get you
hell
sick. Um,
yeah.
I just
Hell
realized.
no.
Oops.
Ew.
Yeah. Anyway, the story goes that there was a kid who ventured in and he ran into her, and the Firebird came and saved his butt. And the Firebird is kind of similar to a phoenix almost.
Okay, yeah.
And the phoenix, of course, is a sign of rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to say, what if there is such a thing as a Firebird, but adding a little bit of logic to it? What if it's not an actual flaming bird, but it's a bird that is orange or red, and it just has that magnificent color, and it's just very rare to see, kind of like the devil bird.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
what was your thoughts on the devil bird?
The devil bird?
Yeah, the ulama.
Llama.
It
What?
was in the list of cryptids that are real. It's spelled
Llama. Oh,
Ulama.
that's cute.
Yeah, it
It's like
had
an owl.
yeah, it is an owl actually.
Oh.
And it had
Well,
those wicked eyebrows and stuff.
yeah, owls are just crazy anyway. They're just freaking awesome. Like it astounds me that they can rotate their head all the way around. That right there is just amazing.
And to think, owls were at one point considered a cryptid. Basically, every known animal was at one point a mystery, which is kind of cool if you think about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
everything was a mystery at one point, but of course, we solve said mysteries and we're used to it now. And unfortunately, because we're so used to it, we take it for granted, which is a terrible thing. But if you saw an owl for the first time, like you were an early explorer, and it turned its head that like crazy 180 degrees, what would you do? What would you say? How would you describe that?
Right. I'd just be staring at it and be like, what the? Like, am I seeing this right? That is so wild.
The world is wild. I guess that's the best way you could put it.
There's some crazy looking animals.
We're gonna start closing it out here. But before we do, Neema, how about we start something new? How about you take us out with a Neemaism?
Ooh, I had to find a good one. Some are okay with skimming the surface, but I'm trying to fill it out. Third eye mystic.
And with that said, don't forget, guys, there are things that go bump in the night. Remember to tell them hi. Bye, everybody.